Hey there, welcome back to my channel where we read scary stories and creepier legends. Something happened back in March and now I'm afraid to go back home. Something happened to me during the last lockdown that we had in March. My house is a three-story property, an old building that we actually moved in a few years back. So you can hear all the doors open and shut and the stairs creak. My parents' bedroom was pretty much the entire top floor. Stairs led down to the second floor where I had my bathroom and my bedroom, and also another bedroom at the end of the hallway. So around 1 a.m., I was getting ready to go to bed. My parents had been asleep for quite some time at this point. I left my room and went to the bathroom. I closed the door and tried to be as quiet as I can. I didn't hear any doors open or close, but I started to hear footsteps come down from their bedroom, and it had stopped right outside the bathroom. Assuming that I had just waken them up, I carried on brushing my teeth and opened the door to apologize. Nobody was there, but I didn't hear anyone else moved after, the bathroom. I thought this was super weird, as normally they would usually say something if I had waken them up. I went to check the other room at the end of the hallway. It was empty. And then I went downstairs, which was also empty. As I came back up to my room to go to sleep, just as I opened the room door, I saw a woman in a full length white nightgown with long brown hair just standing right next to my bed. Her back was facing mine. When she turned to face me, I couldn't help but to yell for my mom. Where one would imagine eyes, I only saw two hollow holes, blood dripping down to her nightgown. I took a step back, but that's all it took. She let out a shriek and ran towards me. I must have fainted. My parents found me outside my room the next morning, but I was sure that I was just dreaming. I saw her one more time after lockdown was lifted. My parents were out of town for the weekend and I was home alone. And I made sure that all the doors were locked as I used to binge on Netflix with my earphones on. I got up to get a drink in the kitchen, and as soon as I opened my room door, the same woman was standing inches away from my face. I wanted to scream, but who would come running for me? I closed my eyes shut, and almost instantly I held my breath. I could smell her flesh rotting as if, that made any sense. I tried to rationalize the entire situation, but I can't. I just can't explain it. I definitely saw this woman, right? I could hear her moving away from me. When I finally had the courage to open my eyes, she was no longer there. I remember moving out maybe a few days after. I decided to keep a friend of my company in the city. Turns out my mom knew about this woman. A week after I moved out, she called asking me something very peculiar. "Did you move up because of her?" she asked. As vague as the question was, I knew who she was talking about. I asked her how she knew about her. She explained that she was a lost soul who wandered the house late nights. She was a victim of physical abuse from her husband, who often hit her and shoved her around when he would get too drunk. One such time, she even lost her own unborn child. When she fought back in anger, her husband had tied it up and gouged her eyes out in anger. She died bleeding out. My family moved in right after, not knowing this history until one day when my mom saw her hovering above my bed when I was asleep. Thank you so much for listening, and that took just reading this one small story took me like, I don't know, 7, 10 times. But I'm finally done, and thank you so much for listening and staying up until the end. If you do want to hear more stories, please do subscribe or comment down below. Send me more stories as well, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.